Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us, and for this new figure unboxing and review we're going to be looking at the 2022 Shattered Glass Soundwave figure. So what we're going to do in this video, we're going to unbox him live in a second, have a look at the entire contents of the packaging. We'll then have a detailed look at him in both of his modes to help you decide how you want to display him. And we will of course have a look at his minions, Laserbeak and Ravage. We can also do a comparison with him and the original toy of himself, which again used a generation 1 figures mold. We can see how he displays and looks with some other figures in the Shattered Glass toy lineup, and of course we can definitely put him with Shattered Glass Blaster to complete the new updated version of this iconic ehobby set, which is of course the Shattered Glass versions of them both. And again, I think these are one of the main reasons which have definitely spurred on this fantastic little subgroup. So a couple of things. One, I need to thank Hasbro Pulse, because that's the company obviously who sent this out to me after I pre-ordered it, and as you can see it got hit nice and safely. And also we've got to have a look at the artwork on the box. Now again, it's windowless. There's pros and cons to this. For me, I've been on the fence for ages. I'm not too fussed because I'm going to flat pack it, but I do feel everybody's paying who wants to display that way round. However, there is the bust of him there, looking great. He's got his iconic headband on, and indeed there's the full body picture of him as well. And indeed there it is, much bigger. It looks way better there. We can also see there that he's going to take 18 steps, and although I forgot to bring it out just on the introduction, this is of course the redeco of the Netflix mold of him. And of course this is what we were all praying and all hoping and asking for, because we want him to turn into a tape deck. So what we need to do then now, I'm just going to very quickly just have a quick flick through this, because then I can move it out of the way. So this is of course the comic that came free if you ordered it from Hasbro Pulse, with its own exclusive cover, and as you can see it's nice and reflective, and the story and the artwork inside is just simply stunning, to be honest. Beautiful artwork. And indeed there we've got pretty much, you can use it as a poster if you wanted to. And I don't know where this is going to end, to be honest. Well, if that is the end, should I say. Right, let's crack this guy open. Once again, we've definitely got a case of the box perhaps being a little too big for the figure. Because it's obviously sold as a Voyager class figure, and I suppose, you know, he is a Voyager class. I'm being a bit too harsh on him, but the box, as you can see, is definitely way too big for him. And there's the cassettes. I wondered where they were. If ever you wanted proof that the box is too big for him, it is right there. He looks like he's doing a dynamo, and he's managed to levitate. Anyway, this is pretty much the entire contents of the packaging. Let's see if there's just anything tucked away at the back before no, that's it, there's just them. So as I say, what I'm going to very quickly do is just set him free from there and come straight back to you. Okay then, here we go. I've set him free from the packaging, and it's time for some first impressions. And I'm hoping that the camera's doing this guy some justice, because he is looking fantastic. We've got the lovely new head sculpt there, which of course has been made to accommodate the headband on the back. You can see where it's tied up. This again came from the Shattered Glass storyline. And funny enough, with the ehobby one, it was actually a sticker, so I've not put that on my original one. Tape deck opens up, of course, nice and easily. Articulation, arms all the way around to the side. It's nice and stiff. Head is exactly the same. Full articulation. Wow, this is mega stiff. You can see there it's on like a ball and socket, so it can go up and down. We've got bicep flexion, shoulder swivel. Wrist doesn't swivel, but it just does fall back slightly for transformation. We do have a waist. The hips have got a skirt, so they can kick all the way up and out to the sides, and indeed, yep, a little bit to the back. Yeah, that's all the same. So full range of motion, knee bend, ankle tilt and rock, as you'd expect. Looking great. Lovely use of the translucent plastic there. It's always still strange to see the red Decepticon logo, but I think it just works really well. I think his eyes might be light piping, actually. Let's have a look. Yes, they are. Wow, that's brilliant as well. So there we go. There is the light piping on the back of his head. For those of you new to the channel, I do obviously have a look at some of the pictures of these figures when they first come out, but I don't actually watch anybody else's reviews, so it really is a complete first impressions. There's, of course, the back of the tape deck there. Teeny bits of kibble on the back of the arms, but otherwise not too bad. Of course, you can tell the fists are going to be folded into there. Looks really good. Accessories again are all there. Cassettes, or what I actually like about these is they're not actually cassettes anymore, but you can still do that. You can still pop him in his chest cavity, no problem whatsoever. Right, there we go. That's enough with first impressions. What we're going to do then, we're going to come back and have a look at him in his alternate mode and see how he looks like that. Okay, I'm back, and as you can see, he's already in his tape deck mode, his lovely alternate mode. Quick apologies for my transformation process on this video. Couple of reasons: one, to keep the main length of the video down, and two, because it's a new figure, it's not to spoil it for anybody else who doesn't want to see it just yet. They might want to get hold of it and have a go at it yourselves. Now, from the front, it looks fantastic. From the side, it's not too bad. From the back, it's okay. The reason why I say it's okay is because thankfully we've got a lot of this kibble here which we can now use to basically fill in, I suppose, some of the gaps, shall we say. So we've got these ports here and we can pop these in. In fact, I think I need to turn that around that way, and then the same on this side. So it is doing exactly that. We're literally just filling out the back part, and as you'll see, in fact, if I turn them both around, this will help it balance much better. We've got the gun, which we haven't seen fully yet. I'll show you that in more detail in the other one, in the other mode. I was just seeing if I could get it to cover up even more of that, but I can't. That's looking exactly how it's telling me to do it in the instructions, and it just makes it balance better this way. And of course, more importantly, you can store everything on the back and not have to worry about where all the pieces are going. The instructions, though, they're pretty straightforward. We've got, you know, the new, which we're used to this format with the color scheme on it, and what I was just showing you is shown just exactly there on the back. So if you've not seen this before, and if you haven't got the Netflix one, it does look a little strange, but yes, it is exactly how they're supposed to go. And it just, as I say, but to be honest, you're never ever going to display it from the back anyway. It's just good for the reasons I said, the fact that you can store all the weaponry on him, and of course the tape deck still works brilliantly, and you could pop it out. And I'm really pleased they use this. And again, I'm referring to it as a tape deck. So I suppose a lot of people, you know, under the age of what, maybe 20, 25, won't even know what a tape deck is, unless, of course, they collect Transformers. So it's good that they still manage to go to the time to at least attempt to make a good version of a completely obsolete product. To be honest, I still think it looks great. Again, probably biased because of just the fond memories of the original blue one, I mean, obviously in the 80s. But the other thing as well is that's what it is. It's just a tape deck, so there's nothing super exciting about it, unfortunately, apart from that. And I think I'm going to leave this segment right there. We're going to come back again, have a look at him in his robot mode, with his little minions, and of course with how we can display and use and indeed combine his accessories. Okay, then back for the final time with him in his robot mode, and we're going to be doing some comparisons and of course see how he displays with his weapons. One thing I just want to quickly show you and I suppose clear up is this on the back of his forearm, and I should have said this in the first impressions, but if you're wondering what these are, these in this particular figure, in all honesty, are just completely irrelevant. You'll see that they do fold out. I suppose in some ways you can make it look like a bit of a gun, but it is actually, I don't know if you can tell, it is landing gear. And the reason why we've got this is this figure is obviously just a redeco with a new head sculpt of this one here, this one which I showed you earlier. This is the Netflix version of him, and indeed he still had the bits at the back as well, but the Netflix one was a redeco and a retool of the Siege version, which, as you can see, they're all from the front incredibly similar. The only difference for this was this alternate mode was indeed something like a spaceship. So you can see here on the back of these would fold out and they would indeed be used as landing gear. So they've still kept the arms exactly the same throughout them all, and indeed in the new legacy one, which is exactly the same as this but without the battle damage on it as well. So just wanted to clear that up for you, and indeed, as I say, pretty much explain why they are there. Right, let's have a quick look at his accessories then. So we've got this gun, which can either be used like that, or I prefer, to be honest, fold it out and have it as a long gun like so. This will fit in, and then what we're doing, we normally have at least one of these definitely on his shoulder, and then the one where you can extend, I suppose, the missile out is going in the other hand. And again, that is just a perfect, this long gun's completely different, but it's just a brilliant homage to the original, which you can see there, where I've done a very similar setup with this. So as I say, this obviously was never released. This is the Generation 1 mold, but ironically enough, it's a Sound Blaster mold. Yeah, as I say, so I've got the thing on the top there and with the weapon. So it was never released officially in Generation 1, although they've used a Generation 1 mold here, and it's just a great homage of it. I think it looks fantastic. It's obviously much more updated with regards to articulation. And yeah, let's have a quick look as we spin it around. Very similar from the back as well, apart from that bit there, but it's just nice to finally have them like this. I'm going to quickly just put the original on this side as well, so you'll again see exactly what I was referring to, and that's pretty much how I've displayed mine all the time, with this being the blaster bit out and indeed that part on his shoulder. However, what you can do with these newer ones is you can get the weapons, I'm gonna have to remember how to do this now, and you can pretty much combine them. I think you can put them all together, to be honest. I know that that'll go there, and it looks like that you can if you wanted to. Can we with this? Yeah, you can. You wouldn't need it obviously anywhere near that big, but if now he's got like a huge, there you go, shoulder mounted massive cannon, which I think doesn't look too bad actually. I think that looks all right. You can also again fold it over. Let's take this out. Oh, knocked him over. Fold this over and have it that way round. So it's again another huge over the shoulder cannon, or indeed pop this there. And no, that's probably about it, to be fair. But again, you can still, as you can see, load it up like that. We've got all the ports on the side as well. So again, your choice of how you want to display. And as I always keep saying in these videos, how you want to play with these, because at the end of the day, they are toys. And yeah, you can do quite a bit with them. What I want to show you now is some of the shattered glass minions. Now, laserbeak, to be honest, isn't too different. He's very, very similar. The best thing about shattered glass is usually the completely different color scheme. So this is the new one, and this again is a siege version. Only a few color differences, to be honest, not too much going on at all. Whereas ravage is a crazy difference. It really is a huge difference between the two, and it's more, I suppose, what I would say accustomed to what I would understand and know as shattered glass to be, which is exactly that. They're completely different color schemes. So again, just very quickly, there was the original. It's not going to stand, they never do anyway, and there was the original laserbeak. But what I do have is from a other ehobby set, a KISS set, a G1 mold. They're not actually calling this shattered glass ravage, it's got a different name, but I do actually have a botcon shattered glass ravage as well from another set. So if I move this one out of the way, you can sort of get a sense of what we're looking at now with these color schemes. Unfortunately, yeah, it started to fade a little bit there. This is from the KISS Players set, if anybody's wondering who it is, and indeed there is a video on pretty much all of these on this channel already. Right, okay, let's get all the Decepticon gang together. And I was going to say one last thing to do. I was going to get the Decepticons together, which I'm doing right now. And as this is what I mean about the completely different color schemes that you can see. And yes, he displays brilliantly with them. Really love the color scheme there with Megatron. But what I really wanted to do, and now I can actually do it, is, as I say, I can recreate the 2000, is it 3 or 5? Anyway, it's the ehobby Japanese exclusive of these guys. So we've got, these are the new versions, obviously, what we've had released both this year, funnily enough, both this year. This was the ehobby version, which is huge because again it just used the original molds, and we've already seen this one anyway, but I'm going to bring it up there. And I think, to be honest, that is probably the best place to stop this video now. So it's I suppose the decision is if you're into the shattered glass toy line. If you're not into the shattered glass toy line, it won't really be your thing at all, but I really like it. I think the colour scheme's great. Really pleased to finally have an updated version of this. And I've just realised there's one last thing that I need to show you. He does still have the index finger pointing out, so you can angle it to point at the chest like that, and he can pop the cavity open himself. But that's a great ending and to wrap this video up right there. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Take care.